It was one of the wildest seasons in Pac-12 history, but the 2020 season concludes with the Oregon Ducks clinching their second straight Pac-12 conference title with a 31-24 upset win over USC. In perhaps the biggest matchup of the Pac-12 season so far, the Oregon women's basketball team defeated the Stanford Cardinal 87-55 at a packed Matthew Knight Arena. 2 hat tricks and a shutout. The Oregon men's hockey team crushed Eastern Washington 8-0 in its final regular season game this year. A huge third inning offensively and dominant pitching helped the Oregon baseball team cruise to a shutout win over Milwaukee. On senior night here at Matthew Knight Arena, the Oregon men's basketball team clinched the Pac-12 regular season title with a win over Stanford. Oregon softball fought their way to victory against the Seattle Redhawks in Game 1 of their doubleheader. The back-to-back champion Oregon Ducks finished with a 4-2 record in the Pac-12 in 2020. Oregon will play in the Fiesta Bowl on January 2nd. The Ducks improved at 14-2 on the season and will look to keep the momentum going on Sunday against the Cal Golden Bears. The Ducks finish undefeated in league play this season. Next up is the Pac-8 playoffs this Friday in Lake Tahoe, where they'll look to play for their second straight conference title. The Ducks win their 6th straight game after starting 0-4 and will go for the series sweep against Milwaukee tomorrow at noon. Oregon is the first team in Pac-12 history to take the regular season title in football, men's, and women's basketball. The Ducks finished the season 13-5 in league play and clinched the #1 seed in the Pac-12 tournament, where they will face either Oregon State or Utah in the second round on Thursday. Will the Ducks earn their 21st win of the season? Be sure to tune in to your local channels to find out. The Oregon Ducks men's hockey team won its second straight Pac-8 championship a little over a week ago, with the team earning its 4th championship in a decade. But the team does not gather as much attention from Oregon fans and students as other sports.
I think a lot of people, especially in Oregon, don't really know that we do have a hockey team.
This season, the women's basketball team has averaged more than 10,000 fans, but the Rink Exchange, where the hockey team plays its home games, only fills about a couple hundred in a venue that seats 2,700 people. So why doesn't the hockey team get more support from the athletic department? Well, the answer is simple. They're a club team. According to Jimmy Stanton, the Senior Associate Athletic Director of Communications at the University of Oregon, club sports are under their own umbrella financially since they are not part of the 20 varsity sports at UO. Back in 2018, the Oregon football team was projected for more than $20 million in expenses. Compare those numbers to this year's club sports budget, and you've got chump change. The department only received about $883,000 for 39 club teams to pay for advertising, travel, gear, the list goes on. Ben Prawl, who is the program director for club sports at UO, has been working inside the department for the past 4 years and understands some of the burdens that the lack of funding puts on these club athletes.
Put a lot of emphasis on fundraising for the teams, and we require a minimum amount, a 15% minimum amount based on their starting allocation.
But even with their financial struggles, the team is still optimistic about getting their names out.
It's always one of our goals to get more recognition, both within the university and within the greater hockey community. And I think we've actually achieved that to a great degree.
With Duck TV Sports, I'm Dylan Reubenking.
Since National Girls and Women in Sports Day was first celebrated in 1987, women's representation in sports has continued to grow all over the world. But there is still a lot of work to be done, as women's sports only receives about 4% of all sports media coverage in the U.S.
I think what's important is to cover them the way that you cover male sports, and cover it so there's a narrative, so that there's stories, so that it's not a one-off.
Women's sports at the University of Oregon have also continued to thrive, as it has seen the attendance for its women's sports teams balloon in the past few years. The softball team averaged over 2,000 fans per home game in the 2019 season, good for 3rd most in the country. The attendance of volleyball games has increased in each of the past 2 seasons, and the women's basketball team seated an average of almost 11,000 fans per home game in the 2019-20 season, almost 7 times the average attendance from just 4 seasons prior. For women's sports to keep growing, fans need to see more girls and women playing sports, which means more girls need access to be able to play sports. According to the National Federation of State High School Associations, boys get more than 1 million more opportunities in sports than girls do each year. But as evident by the growing attendance and success for Oregon women's sports teams, women can ball too.
I would like women in sports to be so normal that we'd just be athletes.
For Duck TV Sports, I'm Dylan Reubenking.